Do you have a valid visitor's visa, a tourist visa, and you have been like wondering when will you come into Canada because of the lockdown? I've got a great news for you today. Ircc Canada Immigration, they just eased the restriction now, and by extension more people are now allowed to come into Canada. That could be you. So you want to hang on tight, stay tuned, grab a cup of water if you've got one, because on today's episode I'll be telling you those that are now allowed to come into Canada despite the lockdown. Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I celebrate my humble self, MC Bernardino. This is Canada Reality with MC Bernardino, where I dish out content for not just those that are in Canada, but those that are intending on migrating to Canada. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, please, it costs you nothing. Take some few minutes, subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a notification bell beside it. Click on it so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. And if you enjoyed this video, hit on the likes button, share this video with someone that you feel will need it. If you have any question, any comment based on this video, previous videos that I've done in the past, if you have any topic you want me to discuss, drop it in the comment section and I will do justice to your question. All right, on October 8th, Canada Ircc, they extended the number of people that can come into Canada. I'm not talking about international students. Now I'm talking about those with valid tourist or visitors visa this time around. They extended those that can come into Canada. In the past, and those that can come into Canada are if you're a permanent resident of Canada, you're a citizen of Canada, or you're an immediate family member of either a permanent resident or a citizen. Those are the people that can come. Or if you are coming into Canada and you're of a very pivotal role towards the amelioration of COVID-19, you can come into Canada. But now IRCC just extended the number of people that can come into Canada. So the following people are now included among those that can come into Canada now. So one, if you have been in an exclusive dating relationship for at least 1 year and have spent time in the physical presence of that person at some point during the relationship. So if you have been in a relationship with somebody and you guys have spent at least 1 year together, you can now come into Canada. So necessarily it doesn't have to be that you have to be married. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you can prove that in the last 1 year you've been together, you can now come into Canada as long as you have a valid visitor's visa. And also a non-dependent child. So if you're a non-dependent child and you're an adult and a non-dependent child, initially before it's only a dependent child that can come, but if you're non-dependent and you're an adult 22 and above, you can now come into Canada. And if you're a grandchild, dependent child, or a non-dependent child too, you can come. So it's not just the children alone, grandchildren can also come. Or you are a sibling, half sibling, or a step sibling, you can also come to Canada now. There's an extension to those that can come. And last but not the least, grandparents can also come into Canada now. Kudos to the extension and the ease to the restriction as granted by IRCC. But another very important note is that in as much as you know that you are coming to Canada and you're spending minimum of 15 days, then you'll be allowed to come in. You can't come in on a visitor or a tourist visa and you're only spending 10 days. Anything lesser than 15 days, you won't be allowed to come in. The reason for that is because you need to quarantine. The moment you come into Canada, you need to quarantine for a minimum of 14 days. So if you come in for 10 days, that is lesser than 14 days, you need to quarantine, so that won't work. So minimum of 15 days you need to spend in Canada, and you need to meet the criteria I just mentioned in order for you to be admissible, in order for the border service to allow you to come into. So in order for you to come into Canada, after meeting the criteria that I just mentioned, you need to follow 6 procedures, six steps in order for you to be admissible, in order for you not to be turned back when you land in Canada. So the 6 steps are as follows. First, your family member fills out an application for authorization and statutory declaration. Okay, so your family member who is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident must fill out the application for authorization and statutory declaration. So meaning that if you're outside Canada, you want to come into Canada because you have a valid visa and you meet the criteria that I just mentioned earlier, which I'll be linking in the video description, your family member that is a permanent resident in Canada or a citizen needs to fill an authorization form. Okay, the form can be seen on IRCC website. So the person that is in Canada, which is your family member, either a permanent resident or a citizen, needs to fill that form. That's the first step. So the second step is you sign the declaration. Your family member in Canada sends you the application for authorization and statutory declaration that they have filled out you sign the form and send it back to your family member in Canada. Initially, I said the first step, your family member in Canada fills it. After filling it, the second step is he or she send it to you that you're outside Canada that wants to come into Canada. He or she sends the form to you. There's a part on that form that you need to fill. Okay, that's the second step. So the third step is your family member signs the form by solemn declaration. Once you have sent the form back to your family member in Canada, they must sign the form by solemn declaration in front of an authorized official, such as Commissioner for Oaths, Justice of Peace, lawyer, or notary. So, meaning that the first step, I am in Canada, I'm your family member, I fill it, I send it to you, you fill it, that's step 2. Step 3, you send it back to me, I need to sign it. I am in Canada, I need to sign it. And for me to sign it, I need to sign it in the presence of a lawyer or a notary. I need to notarize it just to prove the genuinity. I can't just sign it. I need to notarize it in front of a judge, a lawyer, just to prove the validity. That's the third step. So on the first step, get a copy of the completed and signed form. Your family member in Canada must send you a copy and completed and signed application for authorization and statutory declaration. So after I've notarized it, because I'm in Canada, the third step, after I've notarized it, the first step is I have to send the form back to you, scan it and send it back to you. Okay, because you are the one coming into Canada and you need to have that form with you. So once I've notarized it, I will send it back to you. Okay, the fifth step is request written authorization to travel. Once you have a copy and completed and signed application for authorization and statutory declaration, use it as an evidence of your relationship with your family member and request a written authorization. So after you've gotten the form, the next thing you want to do, you that you're outside Canada that wants to come into Canada, the next thing you want to do is that you need to now write IRC. You need to send an email to IRCC. I'll be giving you the email you'll be sending to. You need to send an email to IRCC for them to give you the authorization to come into Canada. And what are the documents you need? You need to submit that form. You need to be among the documents you will include in the email that you are sending to them. Because without IRCC responding to your email, granting you permission to come into Canada, you should not travel. Don't even buy your ticket without getting the authorization from Canada Immigration for you to come into Canada. I hope you understood these 5 steps. And the last but not really, the sixth step is bring your copy of the application for authorization and statutory declaration, as well as the written authorization with you when you travel. So meaning that when they eventually get back to you, granting you permission to travel, authorization to come into Canada, you need to print that form, and the initial form, which is the authorization form that you fill with your family member in Canada, you need to bring both those documents, come along when you're traveling, bring it along with you when you're coming, because if you don't bring those 2 documents and you land in Canada, you can be turned back to wherever you're coming from. It is very pivotal that you bring those 2 forms, the authorization from IRCC saying that you can come into Canada, and the form you filled with your family member in Canada that you notarized. You need to bring those forms when you are eventually traveling into Canada. If you have any question, anything you're not clear about based on what I've said, I'll be linking it in the video description so that you can read for yourself too. Feel free to drop it in the comment section, and I promise to do justice by answering your question. So earlier on, I told you that you need to send an email to IRCC before you eventually travel. When you eventually have the document that you have signed with your family member, your permanent resident family member or citizen in Canada, then you need to send an email to IRCC from outside Canada that you are, telling them that you are ready, you've got your form, and you want to come into Canada. So what are the components of what you need to include in that letter that you'll be sending to IRCC, and what's the email that you'll be sending it to while you're outside Canada and intending on migrating, coming into Canada on a visit to visit your family member. So the email address, I'll be linking it in the video description below. Okay, and what are the components of the letter that you're going to the mail that you're going to send to IRCC? Your full name, your date of birth. If you have an application in process, you need to let them know how you apply for the application. Is it paper application or online application? Your application number and your unique client identifier, UCI. If you have the number, you need to include it in the mail. Your passport number, your international passport number needs to be included in the mail that you send to IRCC, to the email I have in the video description. A detailed reason for travel. Why are you traveling? Why you need to come into Canada, you need to state it. The date you plan to travel needs to be included in the mail. Where you live currently outside the country of residence, wherever you're coming from, you need to include it in the mail. Your supporting document to show you're eligible to travel to Canada at this time, for example, the application for authorization and statutory declaration for extended family members. So these are what you need to include in the letter, in the mail that you'll be sending to Ircc, just to tell them that you, because without sending them that email and they responding, give you the authorization to come into Canada, you can't come, even despite the fact that you qualify as meet the criteria that I mentioned earlier on. You still need to send that mail to to the email address I'll be linking in the video description. So if you have any question, you're not clear about it, drop it in the comment section. I will do justice by answering some of your questions. So after sending all this document and sending the info, the content in the email, Ircc will get back to you within 14 business days. They will get back to you to validate whether truly they acknowledge and they feel that it's okay for you to travel to Canada or not. So if the moment they grant you yes, you can come into Canada, then you can go ahead and book your ticket and start coming to Canada to visit your family member in Canada. But if they say no, then that means you can't come, and that is why the caveat is there that you need to wait for them to respond to you, to reply your mail before you buy your ticket and start traveling. And another thing again, you need to know that you need to bring those authorization documents and the letter you get from Ircc, you need to print it and bring it along with you, so that when you get to Canada at the border, when you land, they will ask for those letters, and if you don't have it, you will be sent back to where you are coming from. Alright, good people, I hope you actually enjoyed the video that I brought for you today on Canada Reality with your own boy MC Bernardino. If you do, please, it doesn't cost you anything, take some few minutes, subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a notification bell beside it, click on it so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit on the like button, share this video with someone that you feel will benefit from it. You have any question, any comment, anything you're not clear about, any video you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section. I will do justice to your question. Alright, it's a wrap now. I hope you understood the video that I put for you today on those that can now come into Canada. So if you're among the lucky one, congratulations. And for those that are exempted from this, wait, the good news is on the way. Till I come back to you with another very wonderful, exciting and educative video on Canada Reality with MC Bernardino. Please stay safe, stay out of trouble. Don't forget, COVID-19 is real.